organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up today on Daily Iowan TV, Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Find out what resources are available about this issue coming up. And later, Daily Iowan publisher Passing the Reins. Find out more about the newest addition to the newsroom and his hopes for the organization coming up.
The track team had a record-breaking weekend, and find out more in sports.
And we sit down with one former Hawkeye who's finally going for his dream.
Lots of rain headed our way. I'll tell you more in weather coming up.
All that and more coming up. Daily Iowan TV starts now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us for another live edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Becca Scadden. UI student government elections are coming up, and so far only one party has emerged on the ballot. The Bridge UI party hopes to be a bridge between students, administrators, and the state. Jacob Simpson and Lillian Sanchez are running on the ticket as president and vice president, respectively. So far, these two candidates are unopposed. 34 students are also on the ticket for the Senate race. You can vote for these and other independent candidates online using the My UI page. Voting takes place April 12th and 13th, with the winners announced April 14th. And yesterday, the Senate Judiciary Committee approved Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch. Daily Iowan Politics editor Maria Curie has more on what happens next.
That's right, Becca. On Monday, the Senate Judiciary Committee approved Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch. Today, Judge Gorsuch will advance onto the Senate floor, where debates will go on until Thursday. The judge's confirmation is planned to happen on Friday, but with Senate Democrats threatening to filibuster this debate, the nomination will spill early into next week. Stick with the Daily Iowan for more as the story progresses. Becca, back to you.
Thanks, Maria. An explosion occurred in a metro train station in St. Petersburg yesterday. The train was moving between the two train stations when the explosion occurred. State-run Russian news agencies have so far confirmed the blast killed at least 11 people and injured 45 more. The Russian Prime Minister called it a terrorist attack. Russia's anti-terrorist committee said a second explosive device was found and defused at another station. So far, no group has claimed responsibility. In April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Reporter Lauren Varell went to the Rape Victim Advocacy Program Center in Iowa City to find out more about the program and what resources victims can turn to.
The Rape Victim Advocacy Program began out of the Women's Resource and Action Center in 1973. Starting from just an emergency phone line to now a location for counseling, individual and group services for victims. The program also does prevention and education work in the community, schools, and on campus.
Focus on with the kids on how to take responsibility for emotions in their relationships and how to recognize warning signs of unhealthy relationships. And then for sexual assault prevention, we really focus on consent.
With this month of April being the 16th National Sexual Assault Awareness Month, RVAP has organized several events that will be taking place throughout campus in order to promote awareness and activism. The Rape Victim Advocacy Program is encouraging people to be activists in stopping sexual violence in their communities. When a victim contacts RVAP in need of guidance, RVAP works with them in support of what the victim wants.
So the advocacy model that we use is client-centered. It is trauma-informed, so we're not telling anyone what they should do, but seeing what their needs are.
The Rape Victim Advocacy Program is available 24/7 through the RVAP Crisis Line and the Iowa Sexual Abuse Hotline. This is Lauren Varell, Daily Iowan TV.
I'm now joined by Sydney Zatz. And Sydney, I know we've seen a lot of rain the past couple of days. What can we look forward to the rest of the week?
Well, Becca, as you did say, we saw lots of rain last week, but things won't clear up until the weekend. Looking outside this morning, it is one foggy morning in Iowa City. There is also light mist outside, but we are not expecting rain later in the day. Looking into the rest of the forecast, it's going to be a cloudy week in Iowa City. If you were hoping to see some sunshine, we're going to have to wait until the weekend. Tuesday morning, we can see some cloudy skies around Iowa City as we experience a high 47 degrees. Throughout the day, our cloudy skies will stay consistent and we can see temps rise into the upper 50s. Wednesday morning, grab your umbrellas and rain boots because we can experience a 95% chance of rain with temps in the mid-40s. Spring is in the air, but we can still experience some clouds throughout Thursday. Over the weekend, we can finally see that sun pop through, and Friday, temps will be in the upper 50s, which will lead us into a weekend of temps range in the high 60s to low 70s. But as we reach early next week, we can see a 60% chance of thunderstorms, with temps warming to leave us up with a high of about 70 degrees. That's all I have for you. Becca, back to you.
Thanks, Sydney. And as we told you last week, Iowa City was ranked second best small to mid-sized city in the country by livability.com. Daily Iowan Metro reporter Kip Fitzgerald has more.
Thanks, Becca. Recently, livability.com deemed Iowa City the second best small to mid-sized city to live in the nation, just behind Rochester, Minnesota. Considering 2,000 cities were ranked with populations between 20,000 and 350,000, this is pretty exciting news. So we decided to celebrate by asking people what they love about Iowa City. Answers ranged anywhere from the constant activism on campus to the general friendly atmosphere on the downtown area. Back to you, Becca.
Kids' full story, pick up today's copy of the Daily Iowan. And you may want to reconsider that burger for lunch. Not eating it could help the planet. A national study shows beef consumption has dropped nationwide, and this is actually helping combat climate change. The Natural Resources Defense Council's report found Americans ate 19% less beef in 2014 than in 2005. This eliminated 185 million metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions. And last week, the Daily Iowan announced that Jason Brumman would be taking over for current publisher Bill Casey following his retirement. Daily Iowan TV reporter Noah Gowdy spoke with both Jason and Bill to find out about what this means to both of them.
For more than 45 years, publisher Bill Casey has walked the halls of the Daily Iowan and has decided this year would be his last. He looks back on his time spent as publisher of the Daily Iowan.
I wanted to stay 3 months. I stayed 45 years. And I also think it's a good time for me to leave because I think that we're at a point where the world's changing so quick that we need a younger person running this place.
That's where Jason Brumman comes in. Jason is a former Daily Iowan alumni who started here his freshman year of college and worked his way up to editor-in-chief by the end of his time at the University of Iowa.
I look at from when I came into the DI as a freshman versus when I left as a senior, and just the impact that this place and that Bill had in my life. And again, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to come back to the DI.
When the job opened up and Jason applied, Bill Casey knew that he wanted Jason to fill his shoes as publisher of the Daily Iowan.
He knows our culture. He knows what's going on here. He knows the challenge he's got ahead. And so I'm really pleased that it's somebody that came from here and that wants to come back here and do this job.
Jason has big shoes to fill following Bill Casey's retirement, and he plans on stepping up to the occasion.
I want a chance to really build on what Bill Casey has done and make sure that the DI is still the great place that I knew it as it was when I was a student.
Jason will be taking over for Bill on May 15th and beginning his new journey here at the Daily Iowan. Reporting from Iowa City, Noah Gowdy, Daily Iowan TV.
From all of us here at the Daily Iowan, we look forward to working with Jason in the upcoming years. And I know it was a big weekend for Hawkeye sports. Tennis had some pretty good matchups. We're going to toss it over to Alec and Taylor in the sports studio with more. Guys?
Thanks, Becca. Several sports were active over the weekend. Both tennis teams hosted matches at home, with women's team hosting Illinois and Northwestern.
Yeah, that's right, Taylor. Unfortunately, they didn't do so well against the neighboring schools, though.
Will Silverstein braved the rain until the matches were moved inside and has the recap from the weekend.
Iowa women's tennis team lost a couple of close matches this weekend, but the Hawkeyes are looking forward and not behind as they head into their final stretch. The team fought hard and forced 3 sets in 7 of their 12 singles matches.
I felt Friday and Sunday we had moments where we could really turn the match. Credit Illinois, credit Northwestern, they're great teams, lots of success in their memories, and they were able to kind of play well at big moments. But I really think that we can build on this, and I just don't want the girls to accept it and accept playing close. I want us to get over the hump, and hopefully I can keep them feeling confident but not satisfied.
Zoe Douglas's hard work paid off with a confidence-boosting win against Northwestern.
It's something that I've been working on a lot recently. I had a close one on Friday as well, and it was heartbreaking to lose that one, but then coming back out here now, I just needed to stay composed at every point and take my time when I get to the back, just breathe it out and go out there and know the things that I'm doing and what I can do is right. It's gotten me that far, and just keep believing in it and keep going after it.
Being the only winner on Sunday, Douglas knew she had to buckle down regardless of how her teammates were doing.
I was just working as hard as I could for them, and yeah, it gets a little bit harder when they're off the court and you know that you've lost the match, but it just gives you more reason to go out there and fight, to just put something up there for the team.
The Hawkeyes are at home for next week's campaign against Penn State and Ohio State. Reporting from the HTRC, this is Will Silverstein, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
The Hawkeyes are now getting ready for this weekend's tough test against Ohio State and Penn State.
Meanwhile, in Florida, the Iowa track team had a successful weekend at the Florida Relays.
Yeah, it was record-breaking. The men's 800-meter relay shattered the old-school record with a time of 1:23.03. The women's 400-meter relay ran a time of 44:53 to improve to 5th in all-time Iowa history. And the men's 1600-meter relay ran a 3:03.78 to place 3rd in all-time and rank in the top 5 in the NCAA.
Softball thrower Reno Tafuli finished 2nd in discus and ended with a personal best in shot put to improve to 5th all-time in Iowa history. The team will head to Arizona this weekend for the Jim Click Shootout.
And one former Iowa football player has faced major adversities his time at Iowa, but he's now going after his dream to play in the NFL. Mary-Kate Harrian sat down with Jake Doozy as he prepares for the NFL draft.
Hey guys, Mary-Kate Harrian here with former tight end Jake Doozy. Thank you for coming. Obviously your story is pretty incredible and pretty different than most, so just take us back from the beginning, you know, why you chose Iowa, and then once you were here, kind of what the Iowa football program did for you during your redshirt year, and then just how the years to come.
Yeah, so ended up picking Iowa just because of the way they use their tight ends in general. Great coaching staff, and felt like I really fit in here, and I'd be used well in the offense, and had a really good chance to play at some point. And great school, and it was just the right choice for me. And then I got here, redshirted, which was great for me. Gained some weight, got used to the offense and playing in college, and just used to the whole atmosphere, which is really good. Ended up playing a couple years and then got hurt. End of my junior year before my senior season, and then again at the end of my senior season. So it was a crazy ride, but I mean, I loved it all and wouldn't change it for anything.
Now you are finally healthy and finally getting your chance to play professionally. What has the workload been more than you thought it was going to be getting ready, or how has it been, especially this last week, getting ready for?
I mean, it was pretty tough coming back from not really running at all to getting ready for this. Took a lot of time and a lot of hard work, but it's good to finally be here and finally get a shot and feel good running around out there.
And then obviously yesterday was pro day, so how did that go for you? And then what are the next steps leading up to the draft? Have you been in contact with anyone? And
yeah, so I mean, pro day went really well for me. I went out and ran up a 4.6.240 and did really well in all the other drills, and did well running routes and catching passes. So I felt really good about today, and hope that I just went out there and proved to teams that I could run around like I used to, and have a chance to play again. And then I talked to a couple teams, and I just have to see how they feel about me, and really just need someone to give me a chance, and that's all it's going to take. And one team gives me a chance, and I go out there and prove that I can play football again, and hopefully I'll get a shot.
Okay, that is it. Thank you very much for being here. Good luck with everything.
Thanks.
You can check out the full interview on Daily Iowan's YouTube page, and we'll continue to have NFL draft interviews leading up to its start on April 27th.
Yeah, and make sure to tune in tomorrow for the result of the baseball team's matchup with South Dakota State.
Becca, back to you.
Thanks, guys. And President Trump has donated his first salary to the National Park Service. His first quarter salary added up to $78,333. The donation follows a promise Trump made early on his presidential campaign to donate his salary. The National Park Service was chosen from a list of options presented to the president. And that does it for today's edition of Daily Iowan TV. To stay up to date on all Johnson County news, check out dailyiowan.com. And don't forget to pick up today's copy of the Daily Iowan. From all of us at Daily Iowan TV, thank you for joining us, and have a nice day, Iowa City.